Hey y'all, I hope everybody's doing wonderful this morning. While I put on my liner, I thought I would enjoy doing it with you. I feel like a judge today with this big high back black leather chair, and then I had on this black cloak, but it's not really a black cloak. This is my linen caftan, really, from Becasa, and that's shop Becasa.com. Shop BECASA.com. I'm not sponsored. It is a friend of mine who started her own business. It's an amazing business. Anyway, this is a black linen top, and this necklace came from somewhere else. But these are her bracelets. These are Irma bracelets, which were pieces that were made from Hurricane Irma's damage. And she heavily gives to her community, gives back to her community. So if you want to feel good about the clothing and accessories that you wear, shop Becasa.com. I'll put a link below. Anyway, I've done all of my base makeup today, but I wanted to go ahead and do a how to do your liner. How to do your liner. How are y'all doing today? Is everybody doing all right? I also wanted to address something about some of my other kind of videos. Y'all know I do beauty videos, some fashion videos, you know, when I involve handbags and clothing and stuff like that. But my beloved videos are, and the harder, the more difficult videos also, are my devotional videos or Bible study videos. And a couple of them, I think because I commented on creationism versus evolution, which I'm a creationist. I believe in the Bible's account of creation. And I believe when people have twisted it and said, well, it says it's only 6,000 years old. It doesn't say that. We don't have a timeline in the first 7 days being our type of a day. It's pretty obvious that it's not our type of the day, first of all. But anyway, I think what it was trying to do, what the writer was trying to do, what God had inspired that person to portray is order to the creation, a sequence, and substance to how it came about. Not necessarily timing, but it just, you know, I just think it's very important to understand that science is God's. And so it's funny to me when I have people write back to those videos that talk about all the scientific evidence of this and that. And you have to remember, scientific evidence is nothing more than man's discovery of how God's creation works. And it always, just the audacity of mankind to think he outknows God, because he's still figuring it out, but God, you know, isn't a part of the equation when it comes to science. It's like God made science. God made molecules and amoebas. God made all those different creatures, and he made them at one time. Yes, they probably have adapted over the years, but they have not crossed species. And I've had some people below, a couple of men, and then I think it was 2-3 men, which is interesting on my channel, which I'm fully fine with men commenting on things. But we're just ugly. They're just ugly and hateful and insulting. And I won't tolerate that on this channel. I don't have to. It's my channel. I purposely have subscribed to their channel to show them support for who they are. If their content's awful, I would not do that, but they don't have content. They just, you know. And so some people have subscribers because they listen to someone else's point of view. And sometimes people have subscribers because they feel entertained. And sometimes people have subscribers because they, well, first of all, they don't subscribe. They just want to troll other people's channels and argue. I do not mind. Y'all have known me to say this. I do not mind a good debate, a passionate debate, a heated debate, as long as it's understood this is not personal. But when you start name calling, when you start talking in a condescending tone in the way that you're writing, like you talk down like you're just ignorant, or you're uneducated, or you're I think one of the things that one of the guys called me was a Mount Everest. The name he said was, you're a Mount Everest. This woman is a Mount Everest of misinformation. Okay, if you don't agree with the information that I put forth, which by the way, it was from research that I've done too, so you're not the only one that's researched. I mean, I'm almost 60 years old. I've done a lot of research on creation and whether or not I believe it. I don't just believe it. I just believe in God, whatever. I did check God out for myself. And now I realize for me, I think God wants you to come and seek him and find him, and he will bring you to himself. But the seeking process, I think he's fine with. So that's why also for these particular individuals, I'm fine with the fact that if they're seeking on something and we can talk about it and debate it together, I'm totally open to that. I even want to hear your ideas, whether I agree with them or not. I may agree with some of your ideas, just not your conclusions or all of your ideas. That being said, don't insult me. Don't insult another human being. Don't say that I'm a Mount Everest of anything. First of all, that's name calling. Of misinformation, I'm putting forth information from research that I've given. Another guy said that I was just uneducated and misinformed. Okay, well, if you want to, here's the thing. If you're trying to teach others about something and you would like to impress upon them about learning, the last thing that you would say to a student is, you're stupid and uneducated and you're misinformed. So, and I know everything and I've got the corner on this. I've got the, all your theories have been defunct. All mine are correct. It's like, this is, after all, man's attempt to understand all of creation. Whether you believe in creationism or evolution, you still must agree that we're trying to understand what this creation that exists. And so we can agree to disagree, and we can have a healthy banter back and forth. But when name calling starts, or just a hateful rudeness starts, I will delete you. And if someone says, well, she just deletes the people that disagree with her. No, I disagree with people who are mean, hateful, or rude. We still have to show each other respect, even if we don't agree. There's people that have lifestyles and ways that they do things, and I absolutely do not agree with them, but I will show them honor, I will show them dignity, and I will show them respect, because God breathed life into them, and that is my position, is God loved them, and I should love them whether or not I agree with them, or the way they live, or the things they believe. And also, if you want to share beliefs, you have to show mutual respect. So if you're just going to be ugly, I'll get off this rant now. I will delete your comments, because I'm not going to be called names. I will leave them up long enough for other people to see what you are like. Are you proud of that? Do you think that shows your education, a name call? Woo, I'm really smart. I'm going to call you a name. Do you think it shows wisdom from your knowledge to be sarcastic and ugly? Sarcasm in a funny mode is one thing, but to attempt to be hurtful or condescending, like you're better or you're more informed, it's like, you know what? You may be more informed about some things, but you're not more informed about everything. And so therefore I may have an opinion and some information you might look at. And if you have done some scientific research that shows that your evidence or your theories or your information has debunked mine specifically, then I would challenge you to go do that person's experiments. Because if you weren't there and you don't see the overall, every bit of scientific evidence is skewed. It's always skewed. There's always somebody looking for something, they're going to skew it. And even if they're completely open-minded, there is always going to be a bias one way or the other. And so you have to be there when it happens to kind of see that for yourself. And if you're not, you have to read that information or that research or that writing from that person, whatever it is, including the Bible itself, that the person who wrote it, the person who penned it, the person who interprets it, it's all subjective. Why do I believe the Bible then? Isn't it subjective? Well, of course it is. Of course it's subject to me interpreting it. But here's the thing. I trust the writer on that one. I trust that God wrote the Bible through man. Man penned it. But God got it to man the way he wanted to get it and said, lay this down like this. And when we get interpretations of the Bible, meaning translations, there are 1 or 2 Bibles out there who are openly, I think it's the New World Translation and the Mormon Bible. Those 2 are absolutely departures from the original text, and they admit it. They admit it. Matter of fact, the Mormon Church admits that that is their Bible alongside the Bible, and they consider that more authoritative than the Holy Bible. The same thing is true for Jehovah's Witnesses in the New World. New World Translation, I believe is what it's called. They say that the Holy Bible is a departure from the truth, and what their translation is the truth. No other translations do that. There's translations that are paraphrases, like the Message and the Living Bible. They're paraphrases, meaning someone read it for the original meaning and paraphrased it to make it a little more understandable. And it says a paraphrase right on it, letting you know, hey, this is not an original translation. This is an original translation with a paraphrase of what I think it means. Therefore, it's open again to interpretation. But when you have translation teams, they usually are heavily schooled in the languages, the original languages like Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. They are usually highly, highly educated PhDs. A lot of them have comparative religion, so they're not even looking at just Christianity. A lot of them have archaeological experience. A lot of them have literary prose that they know how things are written, and there's so much to these people that they're considered scholars, and those teams are not assigned to do the whole Bible. They're assigned to do pieces of the Bible to make sure that there's no bias. They even come from different denominations to make sure that there's no sectarian bias. So I'm willing to trust that, but also because if God can part the Red Sea and get his baby out of a virgin, I trust that he can make sure that those scriptures get to me the way he wanted them, even though man penned them, even though man listened and had oral tradition for a while. Oh my gosh, I'm on a thing. But I do trust the writer. I don't know that I trust the writer of all these other research papers in science. They are trying to figure it out. Just like a doctor cannot save you every time, y'all. They are practicing medicine. They don't know everything. And so we have to take people, obviously, medical people are scientists. They're looking at the science of the body and how the environment works with it, and how our different systems interact with each other, and food and drugs and all those things interact, and how we can help someone when their body has a breakdown. But let me tell you what happens when the body or mind completely break down. You're going to die. When we're completely done, we're going to die. And then all that scientific evidence can be thrown out the window because you're not going to care about it when your scientific physical body is dying.